Recording has started. Hello and welcome to this webinar on financials. This webinar will focus on how to meet your metal casting operations needs of accounting. Be sure to debit on the left and credit on the right. Jean Marie, you and I need to update our pictures for the next webinar. Say hello, Jean Marie, in your best French accent from the office in South Africa.
Bonjour, everybody. Hi, welcome to the webinar, everyone.
Good to have you today, Jean-Marie. It's always a pleasure. I'm Shane Allen in Texas, and I will be guiding this webinar today. If you're a customer, thank you for being a customer. And if you're a sales lead, let's talk, not email. I want you to join the ranks of our ever-growing customer base. Stop the presses. Of course, in 2017, there's hardly any presses to stop, but very exciting news coming from the head office on the Isle of Man. Soon, very soon, we will be offering a fully integrated financial solution of our own. Be sure to meet up with us at the Metal Casting Congress in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hopefully by April, the weather will be temperate. Disclaimer, very important, as I do not want to give the impression that Sage 50 is the only financial solution or is even a recommended solution. I will be using Sage 50 today for the webinar. But there are many other solutions that our customers are using and other solutions that can work with SYNCHRO. There are two pieces of software, SYNCHRO ERP and the financial software. Information is simply exchanged through a file transfer between the solutions, typically a comma-delimited file. This is easy to do as only a couple of mouse clicks. Trust me, there is really nothing to it. Throughout this webinar, I will refer to the account codes as the GL account codes. In other areas of the world, these are typically known as the nominal codes. These are one and the same. I am signed in to the SYNCHRO software as the supervisor so that I can show you a few restricted features. With the yes-no customization options on the first selection, there is the accounts export. This is by no means a complete listing of all the financial solutions that we support. These are simply the ones that required some additional programming and development. The majority of the interfaces are standalone and do not require anything special other than a crystal report to format the exchange of records. On the Customer Master screen, I'm going to bring up the Tombstone OK Corral Foundry. And we notice that this has an accounting number of TO001. This must match to the customer information within the accounting software. This number can be edited by the supervisor through the options and the edit key fields. Very much like the Customer Master, the Supply Master also has an accounting code associated with it. In this instance, TO200, and it would be edited in the same way. On the service profiles, the services, such as the C of A charge that I have set up, have 3 accounts set up in the chart of accounts. And these must also match up with the general ledger chart of accounts within the accounting software of your choice. The chart of accounts itself within SYNCHRO will list all of the accounts that you have set up within the system. Casting sales, service sales, and cost of goods sold. These will match up to your financial solution as well, and there may be additional accounts that need to be defined as well. This will be set up by your accounting department or your CFO. I'm now going to pick up the process within SYNCHRO at the invoicing process. The sales order has already been entered, the WIP and scrap booking completed, the order has been shipped, and the bill of lading created. Invoicing remains the same. Looking at the Tombstone OK Corral Foundry, we see that we have a quantity of 10 to bill, and I'm simply going to bill this, and this will bring up the invoice review screen. Looking at the billing items, we see that I have 10 castings that I'm invoicing for at $46.46 each for a total of $464.60, and I have one service associated with this with a C of A charge of $200. Clicking the View button to look at the actual sample invoice for this will bring up the totals and the line items for this. $464.60 with $200 for a total of $664.60, which will become important. So we have now invoiced this, and I am going to go in and transfer this information for our accounting software. And we will see on today, on my 111, I have the Tombstone OK Corral Foundry. Note also I can credit exports as well. I can select all of these or one of them to export. And I can even show information that has been exported in the past. I'm going to select this one, click the Export button. See, this is only a couple of mouse clicks. I'm going to use the same settings as last time because that's already been set up. And just that simply, SYNCHRO has gone through and created an export file. Oops. For this. There we go. What has gone on behind the scenes is that SYNCHRO has gone out there and created an ACE export file on your server, and this is simply a comma delimited file of the information. Now we're going to transition over into Sage 50 itself. I have a company set up called Metal Castings R Us, and this is a typical Sage 50 accounting screen. And all I need to do is to come down here, select Import and Export. And Simon and I have already gone through and set up a number of routines to import information. I'm going to do a SYNCHRO invoice import. Press the Import button. You don't have to worry about this because this is the mapping between the file that was just created in Sage. I'm going to press the OK button. It will ask me if I want to make a backup of the database, and I'm going to continue. And just that easily, the information has been imported into Sage. Had there been any errors with this, Sage would pop up with a warning or error screen that the account code could not be found, the customer could not be found, and so on. Coming in here into Customers and Sales, and coming down here to this Sales Invoices function, View and Edit Sales Invoices. will bring up a screen. And I notice my customer TO001 invoice 96 with today's date on it with an amount of $664.60 in an unpaid status. I can drill down with this and it will bring up the information, my 10 castings. We note that the amounts tie out between SYNCHRO and Sage, and I can pay this when the customer remits information by clicking Pay Now. The customer is paid $664.60. Oops, I've got to enter a check. So I've got to enter a check number of 10011. Can you hear me, Jean-Marie?
I can.
Okay. So this invoice has now been paid. That is all there is to it. Completing the loop, and this could be automated depending on your financial solution, is that I'm back now within SYNCHRO, and I can come out here to the invoice payment status, and I can look at my unpaids that are out there, find the tombstone, select this, and mark it as paid. That is all there is to it. Now, Jean-Marie and our crack reporting team have done an outstanding job with providing you, the customer, with a selection of stock financial reports that are available to you at no additional charge. And an example would be one of the new dashboards, and typically you're going to run this for a 1-year period or more, but I'm just going to run it for current year to show you some great information that is out there on this. Unpaid invoices, a complete dashboard of information. Additionally, on the financials, we have an invoicing history by customer report, which will give you information on the invoices that have been paid by a specific customer. And I'm going to just do a year-to-date for the new year, the 1st through the 11th. I'm just going to look at Tombstone OK Corral Foundry. And we have all of this information. And we see our current January 11th information here as well. So this is all indicating to you that the two systems are in balance. And it is easy to compare between the two systems that everything is in balance. If you do not have these crystal reports and would like access to them, they are located within the web portal of the public file vault under the file directory of crystal reports in either Access or SQL. If you need assistance with this, please contact support for guidance. And remember, we do have a crystal report writing fee-based service to modify or create any reports that you require. Although we did not explore it, the same concept applies to the AP side with POs and materials receipts. This webinar was recorded and will be made available to you soon. There's a full slate of upcoming webinars scheduled for the new year, including the new series on the BRM, Business Relationship Management standalone software offering that we are so excited about. On a final note, you may ask yourself, why are we coming out with a financials module, and why would you want to do an interface? Well, there are several reasons for it. An ERP, MRP system should have an accounting solution, and many people are clamoring for it. And as we listen to our customers, we've decided that this is the direction that we should go in, because we always listen to our customers. However, you may have an accounting solution in place that you may wish to continue using. You may be part of an umbrella company that uses SAP, J.D. Edwards or something else, or you may have country or location specific requirements. This concludes today's webinar on financials. 15 minutes, not bad. I promised less than 20 minutes. Jean-Marie, what can you bring to the table? Any questions, comments, and most of all, what did I miss?
Not much, Shane. Thank you very much. No questions today from the audience. Just one point perhaps I would like to add to the webinar is, as a security, once an invoice has been exported, then the facility to undo that invoice in SYNCHRO, which I'm sure our customers will be familiar with, is not available. And therefore, users have to mark the invoice as unexported before it can be undone or modified. So that's just security to make sure that the two systems are very much in sync with each other. We've, just as a little side comment to further emphasize your comments on the BRM, Shane, customers may have noticed that in the latest version of SYNCHRO, we now have a new email button at the bottom of the invoice review, for example. And that email button is activated from the BRM email. The review one, Shane, not the creation one, the review one. So if we go into the review screen, where you showed us the invoice you created, at the bottom there we've got an email button, and in order to email the invoice directly out of SYNCHRO to the customer, or a batch of invoices, then you can do that now with the BRM email module, which has now been completed the beta testing and is now on general release, providing further details. Just contact support. So just a side opportunity to mention that, and I'm sure we'll review that in the BRM webinar too, which are coming up. Other than that, nothing to add, Shane. Thank you very much to everybody. I forgot to mention Happy New Year, and let's look forward to seeing you again in the next webinar. Thank you for attending. Over to you, Shane.
And thank you so much. We've got people from the UK, from Spain, all over the place today. Thank you so much for being here. This concludes today's webinar on financials. That's it. On behalf of the Global SYNCHRO ERP team, Jean-Marie and myself, thank you and carry on. See you on down the road next time when we explore more of the metal casting solution only for metal casters. As always, be safe. Thank you.